evening and welcome to IBA News, coming to you from Jerusalem. It was a day of Arab riots on the Temple Mount today. Young Muslims incited police, who responded with force. Calm was eventually restored, but not before several police officers were lightly injured and over a dozen rioters were arrested. IBA's Eli Wagalanter has the story.
3 policemen were lightly wounded late this morning by dozens of young Muslims throwing rocks after security forces stormed the Temple Mount for the second time in less than 4 hours. 2 of the policemen wounded by the rock throwers were treated at the scene, while the third was evacuated to Hadassah Ein Kerem Hospital. Security forces hurled stun grenades to quell the rioters. Police spokesman Ricky Rosenfeld stressed that at no time during the morning disturbances did police enter the Aqsa Mosque, but some Muslim worshippers claimed they saw security forces inside the premises during the second round of violence.
The number of individuals that were on the Temple Mount threw stones, as well as a petrol bomb at police officers that were carrying out a regular patrol. We responded by using a minimum amount of force and dispersed the rioters using stun grenades. For the last 2 hours, our police officers have been patrolling in and around the Old City, the Muslim Quarter, and the different Israeli Arab neighborhoods in order to prevent any other disturbances from taking place, any sporadic violence from happening in and around.
Police say the first round of disturbances began when officers were accompanying a group of tourists up to the Mount, and several Muslim youngsters were caught on video camera pouring oil onto the ground to hinder the access of security forces and the visitors. Following the discovery, police reinforcements stormed the Mount and were pelted with stones and a firebomb by the young rioters. The forces dispersed the rioters using stun grenades, and a tense calm was briefly restored to the area. Following the first outbreak of violence, worshippers who weren't already in the site's mosque were evacuated, and police briefly closed the site. Jewish prayers at the Western Wall continued undisturbed. 15 people were arrested in and around the site, including Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas's advisor on Jerusalem affairs, Hatem Abdel Kader, on suspicion of disorderly conduct. Police said he attacked officers and urged worshippers to hold a protest march. Israeli Arab MK Talib al-Sana warned that Israel was provoking the Muslim world by cracking down on Arab rioters on the Temple Mount. Israel is provoking 1 billion Muslims around the world who will not hesitate to protect the Temple Mount with their own bodies, al-Sana said. But Science Minister Daniel Hershkowitz says it is Jews who are being discriminated against.
If there is any discrimination on Temple Mount, it's against Jews and not for Jews, not against the Arabs. So there's no reason for those riots, and as such, state of law and order, they should be handled properly.
Police Inspector General David Cohn accused the Islamic movement of inciting the rioters. I urge them to show restraint and not to incite, said Cohn, adding that the police would deal with all rioters on the Temple Mount as well as the inciters with a heavy hand. Eli Wagalanter, IBA News.